or emission texture. Basically, it is a texture that controls which area of the surface emits light and which area does not. Pure black will turn off the emission effect, while other colors will generate light based on their brightness. What is so great about the emission effect is that you can also use RGB or colored images. If you use a colored image, then the color of the light will follow the color in the image. The most common usage of the emissive texture is for simulating display devices such as smartphones, TVs, computer monitors, neon signage, and so on. Besides that, you can also find people using emissive textures for simulating windows on buildings at night, or spaceships, for example, or sci-fi panels that have a lot of running LED lights, etc. Essentially, when you need to control the lights that are coming out of the material, then you have to use the emissive texture, alright? One downside of using the emission texture is that it will only work if you use cycles. You won't see the effect if you are using UV, at least not in the version I am currently using, which is 4.3. Who knows, perhaps in the future, UV will also support it. For practice, I have already prepared a file that you can download and use right away. This is just a basic scene where I put two plane objects vertically and added two boxes at the sides and another plane for the floor. I am sure you can create something like this, so I just created them off the record. To use the emissive texture, you just need to plug the texture into the emissive color slot and then control the strength value as needed. Now, if you only want to simulate display devices, you don't actually need a separate texture. You can just plug the existing color texture into the emission color slot. Just for example, imagine that this plane object is a monitor or a neon signage. Currently, it already has a color texture. What we want now is to make it shine and brighten up its surroundings. Now, if we just increase the strength value in the emissive category, the light will just be one color, which is currently set to white. This can work for single color light bulbs or diffuser objects, for example. But this does not give a realistic result for screens or monitors. So to fix this, simply create another connection from the color output of the color texture to the emission color input. And there you have it. Again, you need to remember to increase the strength value to see the effect. If you have this value at 0, the emissive effect will be completely off. Alright. Another approach to using the emissive texture is to use an independent texture separated from the color texture. For this example, I have downloaded this texture set from freepbr.com called the Sci-Fi Panel 1. I am sure by now you already know how to set up a texture set like this. The challenge is that now we want to add LED lights running through some of the dark channels shown in the texture. So what I did is I created this texture in Photoshop using the original texture as the reference. As you can see, I use a bright blue color because that is the color of light that I want to produce. And for the rest, I set them all to pure black. This is important because no matter how high the emission strength value is, if the color is black, it will nullify the emissive effect. Okay, so let's add this in and see what it looks like in rendering. Let's move these two nodes to the right so we have more room. Press Shift A and then type image and create a new image texture node. Click on the open button, select the emissive texture I provided, and then make sure that the color space is set to sRGB as we do want to send the color out. And then plug this into the emission color slot. Let me move these nodes again so we can see clearly where the connection is going. Okay. Don't forget to increase the strength value as high as you need it to be. Notice how the blue lines that I drew in Photoshop start glowing. The higher the strength value, the stronger the light coming out of the material. Notice also that the areas where there are pure black colors do not change no matter how high we increase the strength value. So that is how you can use emissive textures inside Blender.